Hey, yo, what's up? You wouldn't believe who's bothering me. Talib Kweli won't leave me alone. He's that rapper from the 2000s with Mos Def. He was totally mad lyrical, yo. I think he's a middle-class kid from Brooklyn who has academic parents. I have a theory about those kind of rappers. I think they feel kind of guilt for having, what's it called, survivor's guilt. If you grow up middle class in Brooklyn, you get in rap, I think other guys go, you're not street enough, yo. So they get scientifical, lyrical, multi-syllable, rappy, and then I think it goes, oh, okay, you're like the intellectual rapper. Okay, you talk about Africa and stuff and racism. Okay, that's cool. We'll do the gangster stuff. And it sort of gives you a pass. But do we have any of his music? Just jump in the middle of that video. It's good. He's good at his job. I mean, you better be good at your job if you're rapping for the better part of a quarter century. Okay, but I don't think he did come here for the chit-chat, because he throws out these accusations and then he doesn't want to take you up on them. He doesn't want to really debate. So, I don't know, is someone giving him money to bother people? Or is this good for record sales? There's a lack of sincerity in this fight that Talib Kweli picked with me. Like I give a shit about a rapper's opinion. Anyway, check out these tweets. What's this one now? Okay, so, oh yeah, the Irish slave. So the SPLC, one of the problems I notice with liberals in general is they don't know that, say, the Washington Post or the SPLC have become laughingstocks. Even the New York Times is full of shit now. They call President Trump Mr. Trump. That's in their style guides. But anyway, they still think pulling up something from the SPLC means anything. But one of the things he's pulling up here is Irish slaves. I'm all over the map with these tweets, so we're just plucking one from the middle. But he's saying that if you believe in Irish slaves, then you're a Nazi. It's a myth, you see. Now, I've talked about the white slavery thing quite a bit. There was obviously white slaves. There was probably more English than there were Irish, but there was German. Slavery, by the way, goes back way before blacks. The term is Slav, okay? Slave. But that's a whole other video. You look it up yourself. There was tons of white slaves in America. Some say even more than black slaves. They didn't pick cotton as much because they would die out in the sun. They tended to be indentured servants. They were stolen. And there's more slaves than there ever were today in Africa. And Talib, if you're Muslim, it was the Muslims who were doing the slave trading. Way more than whites. But anyway, they just sort of throw something like that out, and then they accept it as fact. Maybe it's like testosterone does too much to his confidence, but this isn't a debate he wants to have. This is just a random accusation. By the way, I hadn't brought up Irish slaves. This is someone else. See, what he does is he calls you a Nazi, right? And then that attracts a bunch of other trolls, and then they go, see, you're a Nazi. No, you picked a fight by making up a dumb lie, and then a bunch of teenagers want to antagonize you by sending you swastikas. That doesn't prove anything. If I said something like, I am very sensitive about pictures of me where I've been photoshopped fat, what do you think I'm going to get after that? So when you pretend you're outraged about something, you are begging trolls to antagonize you. Anyway, what's the next one? There's a lot of them here. Oh, this is a funny one. I have heard of this Nazi and Proud Boys, and they've begun attacking me. They attacked you because you threw out the line and said, everyone's a Nazi. Now, here's a funny thing about these two pictures, too. These prove that I'm a white supremacist, by the way. 10 things I hate about Jews. Now, this is something I've noticed with the left, where they're willfully ignorant of humor, and they ignore jokes on purpose. So you'll say something that has a layer of satire to it, and they go, you see, he's a Nazi. Now, clearly, when you look at this, look at my string vest and my wet bangs matted to my forehead. Does this look like a guy who is dead serious and wants you to know he hates Jews? And now, here's another crazy thing. Someone drew this picture, right? Proud Boy, and they drew a funny little hairdo. It looks like a 1950s Alfred E. Newman type guy. Some other random person puts Hitler next to it, and I think Talib's point here is that this must be racist because he has the same hair as Hitler. Like, what you're really seeing here is this crippling thirst for Nazis. So you ignore the string vest and you just focus on this clearly ironic line, and then you look at this and you go, that's Nazi hair! See? Meanwhile, by the way, Islam is right there going, hi, all the Nazi stuff you want. I got it all. I got the sexism. I got the homophobia. I got the racism. Check it out over here. And they go, no, thanks. I'd rather focus on a drawing of someone's hair. Let's see another one. Oh, yeah. So this is proof. If someone gave shit to his sources and said SPLC, blah, 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 they don't really mean anything. And then he uses this as proof that Breitbart is racist because someone talked about Breitbart. Hoist it high and proud. The Confederate flag proclaims a glorious heritage. That's a fact. Isn't the left soft? I mean, I've talked to lefties who can't even explain to me why blackface is wrong. And why it's been used in Europe for hundreds of years with Black Pete and what blackface really meant in America. They just go Jim Crow, evil. Confederate flag, evil. But no one can explain that it doesn't have a glorious heritage because of slavery. And then the other headlines there I can't read, but it's a lot of Milo headlines where he's incendiary on purpose to make you read the article. It's things like birth control makes women crazy. Now, that's a shocking way to say a true fact, that it does mess with their hormones and does make them erratic. Keep going. What's this one? Oh, yeah, this is just some random chick saying, are they still going with this? Wow. This has been going on for days and days and days. Eventually, I pieced out, but it still kept going after that, which makes me think that there's more to this than just wanting to expose a Nazi or debate him. This has to do with, I don't know, someone paying you? Or you're trying to generate record sales? I really don't understand it. Why was Talib Kweli fucking with an old Canadian dad? I think I used to cover this guy when I did Vice back in the day, yo. All right, what else do we got? I'm a nationalist who believes the West is the best. Correct. And McInnes got a ton of support from Nazis. Yes, this is Nazi shit. No. That's not how it works, dude. Yes, I'm a nationalist. There's nothing wrong with being a nationalist, and no one can explain, by the way, what's wrong with nationalism. I haven't heard a cohesive argument. The West is the best. How can you possibly argue with that? And then tons of support from Nazis? No, you called someone a Nazi and then a bunch of people mocked you because you're clearly hysterical about a German political party that hasn't been around for half a century. That doesn't mean you're right. If I call someone a witch and then someone sends me, ooh, scary pictures, it's not proof that the guy's a witch. They're making fun of you for being scared of witches, dummy. All right, what else do we got here? Oh, yeah, they bring up Ben Shapiro at one point. Apparently, he does this all the time. And by the way, why don't you pick a fight with like Richard Spencer or David Duke? Or there's plenty of far-right dudes who would love to argue with you. Everyone at Daily Stormer, Andrew Anglin. There's tons of naughty men who are out there who want to debate you. Richard Spencer would love to sit in a room with Talib Kweli, but he picks on Ben Shapiro. Something fishy is about all this is going on here, don't you think? Anyway, Ben Shapiro was called racist for saying that Trayvon Martin would still be around if he hadn't picked a fight with George Zimmerman. Fact. And then Talib Kweli called him a racist and a white boy. What's up, white boy? I think later on he calls me a bitch for not being a feminist. Yeah, that's the article on Twitch. Okay, keep going. We got too many here. This is going slower than I thought. It seemed a lot funnier when I put these together, but they are pedantic, are they not? All right, Andrew Breitbart, the racist fuckboy. Why is a cool black guy from Brooklyn using gay social justice warrior terms like fuckboy? It really doesn't sound... Fuckboy is like what a drag queen calls you when his special K is wearing off. It's not really conducive to rap. Rap, with the PMRC and all that stuff, when rap was big in the 80s and 90s, or sorry, the 80s, no one had a problem with it, but when it started to get raunchy in the 90s, censors were their worst enemies. And here they are picking up the mantle of the college dunce with all this fuckboy talk. It just is incongruous, don't you think? Anyway, keep going. And by the way, he says retard all the time. You gotta blow these up, John. I can't see anything here. I'm an old blind racist. I can't read nothing. Oh, this is weird. Okay, so go to the bottom here. This Andrew, racist piece of shit. So gay. But go to the top. This is proof that Andrew Breitbart is racist, okay? So go down to the interview. Bill Maher says, Oklahoma's out of ammo because they're afraid that Obama and his Negro army are going to come and get you. Very, what's the word? Vitriolic attack there from Bill Maher. And Breitbart says, who's afraid? Where's this racism coming from? And then Maher goes, the racism is coming from Rush Limbaugh, but it's taking root in Oklahoma. They love their Oklahoma bombing. And Breitbart goes, whoa, whoa, I find that offensive because there's nothing in this country that's a worse accusation. He's saying it's a terrible thing to say about someone. It's where, in America, if you accuse somebody of racism, that person has to disprove that. Yes, which I'm forced to do. It's completely un-American to call him racism. Sick. I love when people transcribe an interview verbatim and then put sick in there to make you look stupid. You tell me what he has done that is racist. The man has been on the air for 21 years, 15 hours a week. That defense of Rush Limbaugh is proof that Andrew Breitbart is a racist fuckboy. Do you see what we're dealing with here? Meanwhile, poor Islam is trying. They're over there going, hey, we're everything bad. We got all the sexism and racism and homophobia you want. No, I want to go attack Ben Shapiro and dead Andrew Breitbart. All right, what's the next one? Blow this one up. Oh, yeah, this is, I'm a bitch because I got knocked the fuck out. It's weird when people put stuff that you've put out there and say, look what you put out there. Yeah, I know, I put it out there. I got in a ring with a giant MMA fighter named Meathead, and he knocked me out. Am I a pussy? How do you not be a pussy? You beat up MMA guys? Sorry, I have the same body as Grover. I am not good at knocking out professional fighters, or anyone for that matter. I don't think I could beat up Ronda Rousey. I think Ann Coulter and I would be a good fight. Okay, next. What's this? Can we blow this up? Sorry, I shouldn't have told you to make them so small. Yeah, here's proof Gavin is a racist. Now prove me wrong. All right, that's fair. Let's read it. So this is from the Village Voice. Had to terrorize the writer John Campbell for all these lies. This is the guy I sat with forever and said I'm not a white supremacist, and then the headline was, Gavin wants you to know he's totally not a white supremacist, which is now an accusation in and of itself, to add the word totally. But he calls himself a Western chauvinist. True. Western civilization, Judeo-Christian values. True. Since his Vice days, McInnes has embraced the role of provocateur. Sure, fine. Keep going. Happy to toss off racist jokes about Susan Rice, tagging her on Twitter recently with the alt-right slur, didn't do nothing. Now, I'm sorry, but when Susan Rice was on 60 Minutes, she did say we didn't do nothing. How could I resist clipping that and putting it out there? It's called humor. And just look at that and go, he is using an alt-right slur on Susan Rice. What you're doing is you're taking a joke, you're pretending you thought he was serious because you're so desperate for fodder, for evidence of racism, that you just close your eyes and take jokes literally. And that's disingenuous because you could tell it was a joke when I put it out there. And then the next one is the Jada Pinkett Smith thing where I called her a monkey actress. In the context of that, it was a fucking hilarious joke about a kid who thought monkeys were actors, and it was done on the day that Jada Pinkett Smith was complaining about the Oscars. It was a beautiful joke. I'm very happy with it. This is sort of like when Pax Dickinson got fired for saying someone was going to get raped by a pack of niggers, and he was actually quoting I almost said Mad Max. He was quoting Mel Gibson's offensive tweet. But 2 years out of context, you don't have the Mel Gibson reference, so you think he's literally saying that. No, you don't think that. You're just so desperate to come up with an example of racism that you pluck that joke out. All right, what's next? These go on and on and on. I'm sorry to bore you. Writing for Breitbart proves you racist. Fact. See, this is how you sort of get out of the argument too. Like if someone calls you a Nazi, you go, "Is Trump a Nazi?" And they go, "Yes." And everyone voted for him then, I guess, is a Nazi. Well, yeah, they're white supremacists. And you go, okay, fine. Well, if there's 100 million of us, then yeah, fine. If you're casting that wide of a net, fine. If writing for Breitbart means you're racist, okay, I'm racist. Okay, next. By the way, they'll take that out of context and go, he even admits he's racist. Stop. Oh, this is a great one. This is one of my favorite ones. So someone points out that my wife's American Indian and my kids clearly, ergo, are not white. And then he goes, stop fetishizing his wife of color. Can you blow up all these? I got to be small on all these from now on. She ain't a I'm not racist trophy, moron. Racists love fucking people of color. What the fuck is going on? So a racist marries a goddamn negress so he can have her in his house all day and go, yeah, take that, you black piece of shit. Like, You have to sex when you're married is only like 20 minutes, maybe twice a week. Well, let's be honest, more like 3 minutes twice a week at best. You still got to hang out with this person of color, sit there having coffee, just scowling. Oh, fucking look at her. Look at her eating her Cheerios. How can you believe that? How can you possibly believe that a racist guy fetishizes this violent sex and lives with this woman he hates? I mean, that's just crazy. It's when he starts having tweets like that where I go, he's stoned, and him and his friends are laughing at me. This is like a parody of a social justice warrior. Is that what's going on? Check it out. I said that he's having sex with his wife as a joke. That's got to be it, right? I mean, even if you do hate fuck a black woman, you don't do it for 40 years. You might do it once at a party. I assume. All right, next. Oh, this one's crazy. They're getting better now. I'm starting to enjoy this. Why are you a Nazi? I mean, you talk about willful ignorance. So someone has photoshopped Hitler's face on a hipster, and he goes, this is proof that we're dealing with hipster Nazis. Like, what eyeballs don't see that as clearly a fucking joke? How can you see that and go, now that is fucked up. That's intense, man. You just proved that you're a Nazi. This is why the left is losing, by the way, because they have given up on comedy. So I think young people, they're for the first time in 3 generations, 18 to 25s are coming out as 15% conservative, whereas with previous generations it was like 3 to 5%, because you guys are humorless. You're blind to jokes. And I think Talib even said that. He goes, Nazi jokes aren't funny. Go tell a Jew that you think Nazi jokes are funny. You mean the people who invented Nazi jokes? Do you want to tell Mel Brooks not to make any more Nazi jokes? He'd be out of a career. All right, keep going. Here's another example. Someone goes, I'm white, and I say so. How could you not see that's a joke? How could someone seriously go, check out my meme, I'm white and I say so. And then he goes, according to who? You? Like, do you think the chicken literally crossed the road too? How can you take that seriously? It's clearly a parody of white privilege. Next. Keep them big. I like seeing them like this. You think anti-fascists are the actual fascists because you protect fascists. Has it ever occurred to anyone that Antifa enjoys their wordplay? Everyone does this. Look at the word pro-choice. These dumb tricks. It's like calling something $4.99 instead of $5. I know it costs $5. I'm not counting that fucking penny. Antifa are not anti-fascist. They violently attack people whose talk they don't agree with. That's fascist. All right, keep going. No such thing as Nazi satire. You just said goodbye to a whole generation of fun people who want to have fun. By the way, George Orwell said this. He said, within every joke, it's a tiny revolution. So you are anti-revolution if you're anti-joke, you're anti-art, you're anti-America, you're anti-Western. You're a fucking bummer, dude. Keep going. By the way, I assume he smokes tons of pot, right? He's a rapper. How do you be so humorless if you're stoned all the time? What else is there to pot besides laughing? I mean, I guess it makes sex better, makes horror movies scarier, but how can you be humorless and high? What a waste. Oh, this one, I go, anyway, thanks, but bullshit rhetoric like yours is the reason I need to bring armed guards to every talk. Yes. You see, when you dehumanize us and call us Nazis, people go, well, I have to kill him. He's young Hitler. He's going to kill 6 million Jews, whatever. And so we have to have armed security, or I get pepper sprayed. I get fucking knives. I get death threats. We have Robert Spencer being poisoned. We get fucking people coming with brass knuckles and punching people in the lineup at Milo events. They are putting bags over our heads in Berkeley. They're throwing fucking they're throwing explosives. They're throwing stun grenades. They're bringing knives. I mean, they're smashing open our heads with bike locks because rhetoric like yours dehumanizes us. That's why someone poisoned Robert Spencer, because they thought they were poisoning an evil demon and not a human being. So I go, the reason I care about rhetoric like this is because it gets life-threatening. And next thing you know, they're threatening Cassandra Fairbanks' child. And then he goes, bitch ass needs security from my tweets. And then he's laughing so hard 6 times that tears are forming a pool at the base of his icon. No, I don't need security from your tweets, dude. Is he dumb? I think his parents are super smart. I don't think he's dumb. So maybe this is 4D chess and I'm just not getting it. He's playing a dumb guy. Anyway, next. and these farmers wonder why they get killed. Oh, this one was a doozy. I mean, the fucking carnage going on in South Africa right now. I honestly say this to people about the Rhodesian farmers. If you want to look it up, try to stay out of Google image and try to maybe Google it and go like this, because you're going to see brutal fucking massacres. The genocide that has been going on in South Africa, Rhodesia, Zimbabwe for the past 10 years is stunning. You know why they say they don't put it on the news because it's white people? No, I honestly think they don't put it on the news because it's too horrific. That's true of a lot of African stuff. They were just murdering bald men because they thought they had gold in their heads. I mean, in South Africa, there was a rumor that raping a baby cured AIDS, so babies were getting raped. I don't think they put it on the news because people are eating dinner when the news is on. And to trivialize their deaths, I mean, I did a Miles McInnes parody of it. They're fucking, right now in South Africa, they're tying old ladies to chairs and drilling them holes in their body till they bleed to death, just drilling them. Or how about raping a woman and murdering a guy's kids in front of him while he's tied up and then releasing him and not killing him? I mean, don't look up what the carnage going on in South Africa and what they do to the white farmers. The white farmers who are employing blacks and paying them, blacks who are now unemployed. That one stunned me. Sometimes you just go, all right, what else do we got? I'm getting annoyed by this. What's this? This is just a random tweet thrown in there. That's not from, that shouldn't be there. Kill that. That's a teenage boy trolling you. I think you know deep down this is good for your brand. The whole thing is a big hustle. Here is you defending Nazism. Whether teenage troll or not, your defense of it is disgusting, period. Racist, period. No, I'm trying to tell you, dude, that those trolls are not real. I've noticed this with Reza Aslan, too. They'll talk about how horrible stuff is, and they'll pull up tweets from 13-year-olds. When I'm talking about a threat, I'm talking about an actual knife you can see with your own eyeballs. I mean, the terrorists, the Antifa terrorists who were in D.C. at the inauguration are facing 30 years of jail time for their terrorism. That's a real bona fide threat. These kids sending you cartoons are not, yes, I'm defending them. I'm defending joke cartoons meant to antagonize someone who's way too sensitive for his own good. All right, what's next, Talib? As you ignore the vast amount of straight racists and Nazis that defend you, cowardly racist bitch. I mean, these are getting tedious, right? What's the next one? Keep going. What's going on, Johnny? Are we out? Oh, this is one of my favorite ones. Are we in the top? I saved the best for last. Okay, this one is amazing. I said Proud Boys aren't racist, Proud Boys aren't racist. And then I start to go, my new game with these people is play it through. Like sometimes they'll say, you're a white supremacist organization, and then they'll concede that we have black members. And I go, okay, play it through. What do these black people do at our meetups? Just serve us drinks and cry? Do they sit in the corner? That's fascinating. That should be the cover of New York Magazine. Strange tribe of African Americans who go to abusive clubs to receive abuse. It's a strange masochistic fetish they have, and it's the weirdest thing we've ever reported on ever in the history of media. I mean, that should be the front page of the New York Times. Masochistic blacks join white power group. So that clearly isn't true, right? Scientists don't get confronted with this kind of bullshit and then go, well, I'm sticking with my hypothesis even though it makes zero fucking sense. But I said to him, okay, explain this to me, Talib. This is back before when I was humoring him and before I gave up. I said, how can a multiracial organization, why would a multiracial organization want to hide its racism? Please provide an example of a multiracial organization trying to hide its racism. And then his response, because I thought that was a pretty good setup. It's impossible to even fathom. And then his response is, that you think multiculturalism is racism proves that you're a cowardly Nazi piece of shit. Could you be far? This is like playing tennis with someone and they just take the ball and turn around and whip it into the stands. You're not even in the same universe as my question. So that one was a doozy. Let's go to another doozy. Although having sex with your POC wife, that should have been in the winner pile. Okay, so I called him a retard, and he said that was ableist. And I go, you realize that's for purple-haired college girls, right? That's SJWs. And I go, no one uses that word. Like, I can't imagine anyone in Brooklyn in the hip-hop community smoking blunts on the tour bus, yo, and maybe spitballing some freestyle rhymes, going, yo, that was mad ableist, yo. It just, what? Everyone would go, what? And he goes, purple-haired college girls, what's wrong with them? And this is my favorite. You don't stand for woman, boy. Bitch shit. So he's using a sexist insult like bitch to insult people who are sexist. If you're not a feminist, you're basically a fucking woman. The only thing worse than a sexist is a fucking bitch. Sexists are women. Sexists are bitches. That's like saying the only thing worse than a racist is a goddamn nigger. They're the worst. Of course, that'll be racist, me saying that word. What's the next one? Oh, this is my favorite one. Is that the last one? All right, finally, we're done. By the way, I've only shown you maybe 10% of these tweets. It went on and on and on for days. I engaged them for a few hours, which was a total waste of time. But this is what started the whole mess, I guess. So Daily Stormer, the far right, they don't like me. They think I'm decadent, I'm a race mixer, I'm a Jew lover. And there was an episode of my show where Hillary was dancing very badly. And I said, I bet I could dance better than her, even with something stuck up my ass. And I got a dildo that had been sent into the studio, and I performed a dance with the dildo in my nether regions. And I was still a better dancer than Hillary, more comfortable, more relaxed than her, less stuck up. And that made the far right very angry. They're not pro-decadent. They're very anti-gay, and doing that kind of stuff, it's a big deal for them. I have a whole theory on why they hate that so much, by the way, but that's a whole other video. But anyway, they say, in a brave gesture of defiance against Islamic extremism, rebel media commentators vowed to go to Westminster Bridge and shove a dildo up his ass. Actually, it's pretty funny. But this is Nazis making fun of me. Clearly. Clearly. And then Talib starts it with, look at this, you're on a Nazi site and they think you're brave. What? How can you not see that this is an attack at me? How can you think that the brave was sincere in this? And then I said, hey, retard, this is a joke. It's someone who doesn't like me making fun of me. And then he goes, okay, so you're ironically a gay racist. What? What? Look, this is the reason I brought all this up and I bored you to tears with this tedious war with a rapper that couldn't be less in my universe, rappers, is because it's a great example of the left so desperate for Nazis that they ignore Islam, which is doing everything they hate right in front of their face, and they go scrounging through white America, privileged America, the Western world, trying to find examples of racism. They come up dry, so they bring up lunatics like Jeremy Christian or Dylan Roof. They keep bringing up the Oklahoma City bombing. And when that's not enough, they take a joke and they just go, that's not a joke. I'm going to pull that out of context and take it absolutely literally because I'm so desperate for Nazis because I love this narrative of America being white supremacist. Well, that lie is done. And I think the reason that it died is not just because it's untrue, but because it's profoundly boring and unfunny. Your side has become the church lady's side, and no one wants to hang out with a fucking church lady because no, it's not special. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to Rebel Edge, where you can find all the videos that are exactly like this one, but different.